How are you? It's Aaron from Arming the Nation here. I'm out at the Townsville Marksmen's Club with Mark Venacia, who's the range officer here, and a rifle shooter here that shoots on every Sunday here, and a competitive rifle shooter too. Mark, how are you, Mark? Good?
Good, Aaron. Thank you very much.
Mark's here to help us today. We're going to set up a rifle pretty much from the box. Got your scope, put the mounts on, chuck the scope on your rifle, but getting it shooting straight as pretty much within as less shots as you possibly can, eh, Mark? We've bore sighted the rifle in at a target which is only about 30 metres away, and then we're going to check that, see where it's hitting, and then line it in dead on 100 and zero the scope. Okay. I noticed your shirt, Mark. I like that.
It's
not a bad shirt. If the government says you don't need a gun, then you need a gun.
Yep.
Not a bad shirt, mate.
Yeah, a bit controversial, right?
Well, to some.
Yep.
All right, so we'll get on with it. We've put on here new vortex scope on the rifle. We've put the scope rings on as far as we can forward and back to hold the scope as best we can, and make sure that you tighten the screws up on the scope rings to the manufacturer's specifications. All right, and always go crisscross. Screw here, screw there, screw here, screw there, as you're going up evenly to the specifications. Is there anything else you'd like to add on that, Mark?
Even before you do that, with your pick rails or any of your rails you have on there, make sure you torque those down properly and put a little bit of Loctite on the screws, because they do notoriously come loose.
But obviously a light, very light grade.
Yeah. Don't put a permanent lock or anything like that on there, because that just becomes big problems.
Okay, so we'll check here. So what you're going to be doing is looking down the bore like this. This is what we say when we say look at the bore. So you got your target out there at the close distance of about 25-30 metres, and then just look through the bore till you can roughly get that in the middle of your target. Then you'll come up to the scope, and you'll see how it's shooting high, but the crosshair is in the paper. So what we'll do is we'll take the shot, and then we'll see where the bullet hits on the... We've got the rifle bore sighted. It's pretty much right in the middle of that target now. Okay, so look through your bore and literally put it on the close target, dead in the middle. Then, without touching the rifle at all, you look through the scope and see where your crosshairs are.
Probably show it a bit high.
It is showing high, yes. So we'll adjust.
No, don't adjust it, leave it. We're going for 100.
We're going to go for 100, okay.
Because what we'll do here is we'll shoot this at a short distance, and you'll find because your centre of your rifle barrel to the centre of your scope has a certain distance. So at a short distance, your projectile is still trying to travel up. So it is advisable just to shoot now, see what it is at the target, at the short target. If it's shooting low, don't worry about it. Go to the 100 metres, so long as it's close, say about 2 inches low, doesn't matter, because the projectile still hasn't had a chance to go up. Go to the 100, you know you're on paper, and then you'd be pretty well on paper when you're shooting at 100. If you're not, if it shoots off to the side or anything like that, do your adjustments here at the short distance. Don't try and do it at long distance, because you'll be wasting bullets, and they're bloody expensive now.
That they are. Thanks for that, Mark. So Mark will have to pull me up a bit during this, because what do you call me? Bloody scattergun shooter.
Scattergun shooter. Yeah, shotgun shooter.
I'm still learning the rifle shooting. Enough the old fake it till you make it system. All right, we'll get into it, and we'll take the shot and show you, and then we'll see the results.
Ears in. Alright, now all we'll be doing, Aaron, is we've got close targets, just aim between all of them, right in the middle, and just fire a shot, as you would be at any distance.
Chronograph's on.
Yep. Everything's ready to go. Just one
Aim.
shot.
Where do you want me to aim? Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Don't worry about aiming at any of the particular targets. We just want to get around on the paper to see where it is. Righto. 2,700 feet per second.
2,700.
Got the use of it. Have a look and see where it landed.
Well, I was aiming right in the middle,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much very close to where I was aiming.
All right. Well,
So
then go to
what we
100.
should do now is probably pick a spot on the target and shoot at it, eh?
Yep. Just go to the 100 metres. Don't waste any more ammo.
Okay, we'll go straight to the 100 metres.
Yep.
You're the boss.
Go straight to the 100. Aim. Third one up from the bottom. Just in the middle. Yeah, use your parallax.
So,
Get that adjusted.
so the parallax, we're at 100 metres here, and now this is on affinity. Now I'll put it back to 100, where it's supposed to be, but when I look through the scope, it's blurry as. Ignore the numbers on your parallax. High-end scopes don't even have numbers on their parallax.
No, they don't.
So you adjust the parallax.
Or some of them don't.
The parallax, you adjust till it's clear. So look through, ignore the numbers, and then without moving the rifle, you want to move your head up and down. If your head moves up and down like I'm doing, and the crosshairs move, your parallax is not adjusted correctly. You've got to move
That's
your
correct.
head up and down just slightly till it doesn't move.
The parallax, if you don't adjust it properly, you can be anywhere up to 4 inches out. For competitive side, you're just out of the game. You won't be competitive if you don't set the parallax properly. It's a hit or a miss. The rear focus that Aaron was playing with there actually focuses your eye to the reticle. It must be nice and crisp, clear. If it's not, you need to adjust it. Otherwise, you have a blurry reticle. Your parallax won't, you'll have difficulty doing the parallax properly. So if someone borrows your gun and adjusts that focus at the back for the rings to suit their eyes, and you get it back, there's nothing wrong with the scope. You just have to readjust it again.
Okay, so we've now adjusted the parallax, which we talked about, and this back ring here focuses to prescription of your eye. So if someone else uses your rifle, just like Mark was saying, it has to be right to your eyes. So when you look through here now, when I look at the scope on the target, if I lift my head up slightly, up and down, side to side, that crosshair does not move, it stays on the target. So the parallax is adjusted correctly. Like you said, Mark, if the parallax is not adjusted correctly,
Yep.
it can be literally a hit or a miss.
Hit or a miss, absolutely.
Okay, so we'll now take the shot and we'll zero the rifle in, and then we'll show you how to adjust from where the shot is within hopefully 2 shots to 3 shots to get it on target to use less ammo. Okay, I'll take the shot. Righto. Okay, so this is the result of what we shot. I tried to show you through the scope, but I'm not tech savvy enough to be able to do this right. So Mark, I was aiming here, but this is where the shot was here, Mark. So what would I do, mate?
Well, what we do now is, well, what I do just to get us even closer, instead of going, I'll just move it this much and see how I go. You'll waste a lot of ammunition to get back there. So what you can do is you put your crosshairs back on where you are aiming, and then with the rifle being steady, you don't want to move it, then you move the crosshairs by adjusting your rifle scope so the reticle ends up here. That way you take your next shot and it should end up back here. I know it sounds confusing, but that's the way it works.
Yeah, so what Mark's saying is aim exactly at that cross again, and then without moving the rifle, have it in a vise or on a sandbag, and then adjust your windage and elevation on your scope to there, and your rifle should be shooting dead on.
So then you go back to shooting to here, and you've already adjusted your scope to where the projectile landed.
Alright, so now we've adjusted the scope height and windage to what we showed you on that picture just before. We'll now check for a group. So hopefully, if Mark knows what he's doing,
no,
it should be
absolutely
on target. But you want me to shoot the same target, Mark?
Yes, shoot the same target.
Just above.
Yep.
So there must have been a slight bit of movement when you were adjusting that, Mark.
No, it's not the be all and end all, but it gets you there a lot quicker than just shooting at the target and doing your adjustments.
Alright, so we'll come down. You want to go up? I've been coming down. Yeah, but that shot. That's opened up, so I reckon go back to 4.5. Not bad. And it needs to come to the left to click.
Yep.
Try another one.
Ooh.
So what we're doing now, we've zeroed the rifle and it's shooting as accurate as we can get it. So now we're going to zero the scope in to 0. We've got the windage set. This one here you don't touch that much unless you're actually needing to adjust it, but it's your elevation is the one that we're going to be adjusting. So Mark's now pulling the scope off and putting the scope ring on 0. There we go. Now it's set on 0. So you can always come back to 0. So now set for 100, Mark, isn't it?
That one's set for 100. Windage is set 0 there. Not that you really need to adjust it, but yep.
And that's how you set your rifle into 0. Here's the test shot from what we were drawing to explain to you. So what we did, here is where it's shot, right, with the shot. So what we did, we lined our crosshair here, right in the middle, and then without trying to bump the rifle, we wound the scope up to here. But I did bump the rifle. It is really hard to do. You'll try and turn the turret and accidentally move the rifle the slightest. What had happened was, because I moved the rifle, this was the second shot. But it's dead in line, so I was happy with it. So what I did, I then wound the scope 3/4 of a minute to the right, and here was the next shot here. All I did then was bring it back 1 click, 1/4 a minute, and I fired the 2 shots here. On target. This one here is a little lower, that's obviously just me pulling the shot. Then I did the group test. This is the group test. I fired 3 shots and the rifle is dead on at 100 metres. So I know now that the rifle is zeroed in at 100 metres, and I zeroed the scope turrets, which makes it perfect now for shooting at anything at 100. and then I can come up however many minutes on my app, on the Hornady app on my phone, or if you know your minutes to come up, you can always go back to 0 at 100. Something else that I wanted to teach you actually about Parallax. Now the rifle was zeroed in, as you saw on that last one, perfectly. Without adjusting any of the settings on the rifle, I adjusted the parallax on the scope so it was incorrect, without the correct parallax. Without adjusting any of the turrets, this is the group that I got on that target shooting after having the parallax not adjusted correctly. So just something to show you about the parallax is a very important thing to make sure that your parallax is set exactly right on the rifle scope. I hope you found today interesting, and what Mark and I showed you a help for you with lining in your rifle and putting a new scope on your rifle. Thank you.